Ever watch that movie, Limitless, where the main character takes a pill and suddenly becomes a genius, remembers everything, speaks new languages, sees patterns nobody else can see, and you thought, I wish that actually existed? Well, the good news is that substances that can enhance your brain do exist. The bad news? They don't work the way you think. Maybe you often feel foggy. You forget where you put your keys. You start working on a project, and 20 minutes later, you're already distracted. You read the same sentence 3 times without understanding it. And you think, maybe a nootropic would help me. But here's the brutal truth. If you're using nootropics to fix a broken lifestyle, you're just throwing money away. Today, I'm going to explain what nootropics really are, how they work, when they work, and most importantly, when they're completely useless. And at the end, I'll give you a practical guide so you don't get scammed. Because if you're going to spend money on your brain, you might as well do it right. Let's start from the beginning. The word nootropic was invented in the 1970s by a Romanian neurochemist, Dr. Corneliu Giurgea. And he had very specific rules. According to Giurgea, a true nootropic must do 5 things: enhance learning and memory, help the brain resist stress, protect neurons from chemical or physical damage, improve cortical control, your ability to focus, and, this is fundamental, it must not be toxic. So, by definition, a nootropic isn't just a stimulant. It's not something that gives you energy now and makes you crash later. It's a substance that supports long-term brain health. And here's an important distinction to make right away. Nootropics versus adaptogens. Nootropics enhance cognitive functions, memory, focus, speed. Adaptogens, on the other hand, help your body manage stress. For example, ashwagandha is an adaptogen. It doesn't make you think faster, but it makes you more resilient. Then there's the difference between natural and synthetic. Natural nootropics are botanical extracts like lion's mane. Synthetics are molecules like the racetams. Both can work. A recent study published on PubMed analyzed the effectiveness of natural nootropics and found many have real effect, but only when the dosages are right. If this kind of content interests you, subscribe to the channel. Before we talk about which nootropics work, we need to talk about the performance pyramid. Imagine a pyramid. At the base, sleep, sunlight, hydration. These are the pillars. Without these, everything else collapses. At the top of the pyramid, way up there, are nootropics. They're the finishing touch. They're the multiplier. Here's how it works. If you have a solid foundation, a good nootropic can be a 1.5 times or 2 times boost on your cognitive performance. But if your foundation is 0, if you sleep 5 hours, never see the sun, and are chronically dehydrated, then 1.5 times 0 is still 0. Nootropics don't fix a broken lifestyle. And here's where the invisible antagonist comes in: sleep deprivation. When you don't sleep enough, your brain enters a state of chronic inflammation. Microglial cells, the immune cells of the brain, start eating away at synaptic connections instead of protecting them. In this state, even the best nootropic can't do anything. So, the rule is simple. Fix the foundation first, then add the nootropic. Now, there's a huge difference between stimulating the brain and regenerating it. Stimulants, like caffeine or sugar, give you energy on loan. It's like using a credit card. It works now, but then you have to pay it back, and the crash comes. True nootropics, on the other hand, are an investment. They don't give you immediate energy. They support neuronal health, improve plasticity, and increase blood flow. Let's use an example. Caffeine is the turbo in your car. You press the pedal and go fast, but the turbo consumes more fuel and stresses the engine. Natural nootropic, on the other hand, is engine maintenance. It doesn't make you go faster today, but it keeps the engine healthy so it can perform for years. So, how do these actually work? There are three main mechanisms. First, neurotransmitters. Some increase the production or sensitivity to key chemicals. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter of memory. Substances like alpha-GPC increase it. GABA is the neurotransmitter of calm. Balanced GABA means calm focus. Second, neural protection. Some support BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like fertilizer for neurons. It stimulates new growth. Third, circulation. The brain consumes 20% of the body's energy, and it needs oxygen and glucose. Ginkgo biloba improves this microcirculation. More oxygen means more energy. And here's a detail many people ignore: the blood-brain barrier. This barrier protects the brain. Cheap supplements often fail because they can't cross it. Now, let's talk about the key players. Lion's mane, the king of neuronal regeneration. It stimulates NGF and BDNF. But don't expect immediate results. It takes weeks. Bacopa monnieri, the long-term memory ally. Research shows that after 8 to 12 weeks, it significantly improves the ability to recall information. Caffeine plus L-theanine, the golden combination. Caffeine gives you energy. L-theanine, found in green tea, balances it. It gives you calm energy. If you're too stressed and add a stimulant, you risk shutdown mode. L-theanine brings you back into the optimal window. Focus without anxiety. Rhodiola and ashwagandha, adaptogens for those working under constant pressure. They don't make you think faster, but they make you more resilient to stress. Now, a question I get often: do I need to buy 10 different bottles? No. This is where synergy comes in. An effective stack covers memory, focus, and blood flow. The problem with many supplements is proprietary blends where you don't see dosages. You see focus blend, but not how much Bacopa is in there. This is a red flag. A good stack shows every dosage. It uses amounts that match scientific studies, not symbolic sprinkles. Elite athletes use these because they are more efficient. Let's talk about timing. Acute nootropics like caffeine or rhodiola work in 30 to 60 minutes. Cumulative ones like lion's mane require weeks to build. Many take a nootropic and say, I already feel it after 2 days. But for Bacopa, it takes 8 to 12 weeks to actually change synapses. It's not magic. Patience is key. Some nootropics need to be cycled. For example, take rhodiola for 4 to 6 weeks, then a 1-week break. This prevents tolerance, so it keeps working. And one last point, nootropics and blood sugar. If you have spikes after a heavy lunch, no nootropic can save you from post-meal brain fog. Important disclaimer: individual response varies. Always consult a doctor before starting any supplementation, especially if you take medications. How do you avoid getting scammed? First, purity and testing. Look for companies with third-party testing for purity and heavy metals. No tests? Red flag. Second, clinical dosages. Check that amounts match the studies. For example, Bacopa is tested at 300 milligrams. If you see 50 milligrams, it's useless. Check the numbers. Lastly, individual response. Test one element at a time. Don't start with a stack of 10. Use one for 2 to 4 weeks and observe. Let's recap. Do nootropics work? Yes, but only if you fix the foundation. Sleep, light, hydration. They're a multiplier, not a magic solution. Be consistent. Real results take weeks, not days. Remember, you're not just buying a pill. You're investing in the long-term health of your brain. If you want to learn more, check out the resources in the description below. And now, I want to hear from you. What's your cognitive goal? Memory, focus, creativity? Write it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video.